Hello, so I just came from my interview for my vlog 3 to figure out what kind of learner the person is that I've been interacting with. I think it went really well. Um, and definitely like the concepts and things we've been learning, I was able to apply like as she was speaking, even it was like, oh, like that sounds like this. So what I found out was when I asked her what kind of courses were difficult or easy for her, the most difficult courses were one of two things. Either they involved writing papers, because as I've told you before, she's a really like sciencey person, so writing long papers is hard for her. And then she doesn't like when courses are unstructured. So to combat this, she uses for her writing courses, she uses the Help Center, which is good. But for the unstructured courses, what she does is she tries to make weekly schedules, which clicked in my mind about metacognition, planning about how to approach, a new learning situation. So basically what she does is when this sort of course is kind of uneasy for her, what she'll do is she'll make this plan and she'll follow it, and the structure that she creates for herself is kind of reminded me of metacognitive strategies. So planning would be like the going through and deciding when to do what, and then like in our PowerPoint it said like overviewing things is basically what she's doing, is she's overviewing the big picture and planning how to quickly break it up and move through it in the best way. The other metacognitive strategy she utilizes the most was evaluation. So she plans out her checkpoints for herself, looks at the big picture and cuts it up, and then as she moves through each one, she'll look back and be like, did I learn what I think I should have from this section? She has good metacognitive knowledge. She knows herself well enough to know that she does well in courses that are structured, that have not necessarily like definition sort of courses, but not where she would have to theorize about things. So like she did really well. One of the examples, she took honors bio. She did really well in it because you had to memorize concepts, but you never had to develop new thoughts on it. So like she probably wouldn't do well on one of our exams since you have to use an original example and you have to, take a word and write a whole paragraph about it. Whereas like she said like the hardest part of her bio honors exams was she'd have to like memorize like a cycle of something, like a cellular cycle. She'd have to like spit it back out onto the paper. So it's writing, but it's still memorization. And then we talked about why she thinks she does so poorly in writing classes. Excuse me. So we talked about that because I think I wanted to see, if she could own up to the fact that she's maybe not the best writer. Like, if she's a science person, that's great. Maybe she's not the greatest writer. The issue was when I asked her, why did you think you did poorly? She blamed her professor's fault. Or she made it her professor's fault. Which maybe she really did have, like, a less than amazing professor. But when I asked about her bio honors class and why she thinks she did so well, it was all her doing. So she said, like, I did a great job because, like, I tried so hard. But in writing, maybe she did try as hard. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I'm not her. But it reminded me of the fundamental attribution error theory, since, like, she's blaming her wrongdoings on it, like, it's out of her control. And then the things she does well, she owns those. So also, when I asked about other students in those courses, this also reminded me of like the attribution error. When I asked her like evaluate her peers' abilities that she works with, it was always, she used words like lazy or lucky, where when she was evaluating herself, it was hard work and determination, which I'm assured that she's a great student, but again, it's that error where she's blaming the other students in the wrong way, sort of thing. Like maybe maybe it was something else. Okay, so I asked like why she enjoys science courses. So what she told me was she doesn't necessarily only enjoy science or math. She enjoys the courses she does well in, no matter what the content is. So I would say that her motivation for those courses is extrinsic because she is working for the grade. She's not working to feel good about herself. Also, overall, when I asked her what she wanted to do, she's like, well, I'm here to get a degree, to go to med school, to go to get a job. So, which I know a lot of us, that's pretty much the goal in life, but the way she explained herself, it was really like extrinsic, like she's working for outside factors. And then lastly, I asked her if she, challenges herself and she likes challenging herself, and she said she does, but she has a tendency to regret it once she does poorly. And for example, she got a B minus or like a 3.0 in organic chem, and she regretted taking that course since it brought down her GPA. But I think that could have something to do with just the standards she holds herself to, or the standards her parents hold her to. So overall, I think as a learner, she's, definitely, she's a good learner. It's just her attributions were like what they typically are, not off, since that's what most people are like. So that's what I gained from my interview and connected it to what we've been learning in class.